So this is the Hate Him or Love Him episode. I got a special guest, a OG, a legend in the building with me today, Mr. Ted Valentine. We're going to talk about it on 94 Feet of UNC.
Gordy to Black. The time, 18. Shot, Jordan! Michael Jordan!
Swicker with the defense and the rebound. That's a good effort by Swicker.
Stackout streaking it on Parks. Rebound dunk is good, and he gets fouled by Parks. Oh my goodness, what a dunk by Stackout.
I think that he's running back so quickly, but you know what? They're down east. It's fair to You can't teach that high-rising ability. 3. And Green rips down the rebound in traffic. 4-on-1. Great job. What a terrific job in transition. I mean, you could.
The glass no good. Rebound followed by hand throw. Good! Carolina.
Inside 30 overall. Love, top of the key.
Alice about this over. Carolina. The Tar Heels have won the national championship.
And that is it. There is a new team in college basketball. North Carolina takes the title. Hampton, any final. North Carolina is the 2009 national champions. And this year, the confetti is going to fall to North Carolina. They're not going to be denied this time.
What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the 94 Feet of UNC podcast. I am your host, of course, Mr. Linzel Graham, the man that gets no credit from those that use debit. If you know, you know. So I just leave that like that or whatever. First off, I want to say that I appreciate all the love and support from everybody, man. Like me, Rayshawn Terry, Terrence Newby, Neil, TJ, Jacob, and even the ladies over at HeelzInThePaint. We truly appreciate all the love and support from everybody. And you know, listen, we're over 600 subscribers on YouTube, on the road to 700. We appreciate the love and support. Let's keep it going because we do this for you all. If you're a lover of UNC basketball, just in general, you know what I'm saying? So, but I appreciate that. Make sure that you tap in, follow me on my socials at 94 Feet of UNC on Twitter, on Instagram. Come join the Discord. It's free to join. All of the links and everything is in the description below. And we got merch. Y'all know we got the merch and everything. We're going to be doing some giveaways and some contests and everything coming up here soon. And just be on the lookout for that. But in order to find out about everything, you gotta stay tapped in with us. You got to stay tapped in so that you can get some stuff because we're really going to be doing some big things throughout the off season. So, but again, we appreciate everybody. My special guest, I mean, oh man, it's an honor to be in the presence of this man. I've watched him for over the years, just being a basketball fan. I've seen him officiate so many games. I know a lot of fan bases that don't like him. I know a lot of people that love him. Listen, I must admit, I was on one side at one point because I was like, man, he's officiating tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a long night for the Tar Heels. But listen, it is what it is. Without further ado, my special guest in the building is Mr. Ted TV Valentine. Ted, how are you?
I'm doing fine, and I'm glad I see the Carolina studio. I will put Carolina at rest. I have a record. I remember every game, and when I tell you, you'll be shocked.
See, there we go. So listen, Ted is here to clear the air for everybody. Just so that everybody knows, this is why we bring people on to the 94 Feet of UNC podcast. So listen, Ted, I am honored again, and just in short words or whatever, I don't even know what to say or whatever, but I appreciate you being here. I call this the Zell Dome. So I tell everybody, come on in, kick your shoes off, get comfortable. We're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. So mi casa, su casa, and no better way to have one of the legends step into the Zell Dome and and chop it up with me today or whatever. So I definitely appreciate you for being here, for sure, for taking out some time out of your busy schedule. It might not be as busy, but it's a little busy still, I'm sure. So it is what it is or whatever, but appreciate you being here. So I guess my first question, so we gonna get right into it. Hopefully my system acts right today. We're gonna pray. But we're gonna get right into it. So I mean, again, for those that don't know, that have been living under a rock or whatever the case may be, please introduce yourself, tell everybody about yourself. And I guess my first question would be, how did all of this get started in the officiating world, I guess you could say?
Well, I just completed 43 Division I seasons since 1983.
Congratulations.
I've been officiating. Let's see. First, I need to go back to where I got started. I went to Glenville State College. I learned how to referee from intramurals. And you can take intramurals and you got your roommates moving out on you, you can take anything. Okay.
Right.
I learned to referee with a pair of Chuck Taylor Converse shoes, canvas, which you want to pay $100 for now, and a pair of jeans that was frayed, and a pink, black, and white shirt because I didn't know how to wash clothes. Okay. I started with a shoestring, with the shoestring and a pea whistle. That's how I started. And I would go work junior high games for $8 back in the around 76 to 80, while I was in college. And that was just a little spending money. So years later, I went to camp. Somebody discovered me. And I was age 23 years old, and I got into the Southern Conference. Okay. Under late J. Dallas Shirley and the late Mr. Jim Birch, who was from Raleigh area. I started refereeing then with Jimmy Howe, who was one of the first black officials to work the Final Four back in 1974. He was the first. Okay. I got with them and they taught me a lot of stuff, and I got in the Big Ten in 1986.
Okay.
I came in the Big Ten. The Big Ten hired 6 officials, six. At the end of 1 year, I was the only official left. So I've had God on my life. They let go 5 officials, and I'm fortunate to stick around. I came into the Big Ten in 1986. Okay. I worked my first Final Four. I was 31 years old, Duke and UNLV. So I was 31 years old. I was a kid still. And my career has just blossomed. It was just the way I put it, I'm in a position where I never should have been in the first place. And because I've had the blessing, I have a church background. I have a grandmother, my mom's church, family background, 2 pastors or uncles. So I got the church background, no matter if the fans believe it or not. Sometimes you have to be like David, and you have to stand up for what you believe, and what you do is right. So that's how I got basically started, and it's carried on through the grace of God by me helping people and dragging people with me, and taught many officials, and I will be 68 years old in 2 weeks. So I've been around for a while, man. I mean, I understand this game, and I got to be a better official the last 10, 15 years. And the reason why is because you learn different things, and you learn different things, and you learn to what you did when you were young, you don't do them as you get older, And so I've had a metamorphosis, and every time I've gone to Carolina, which is one of my favorite places, I know I have a good time when I went to Carolina. And I've been coming to Carolina since Coach Smith was coaching. And for those of you that don't know anything about Carolina, Carolina is 2-0 in NCAA play with me. They're 2-0. In 1993, they beat
Michigan.
They beat Kansas. They beat Kansas in the Final Four game. I had that game. the next 2 days later, I sat 5 rows up when Chris Webber called the timeout. So I was there. Okay. And Carolina recently won the 2017 Final Four with me in the game. So that'll put some of that to rest. So what are you Carolina fans are thinking? I'm not that bad as you think I am at times. Carolina Duke. At Duke, Carolina's undefeated with me in the game. Carolina has never lost a game at Duke, and I had 7 of those games. Carolina has never lost with me at Duke. And it was Ty Lawson, all those guys. I mean, when they were young. Carolina is 7-0 at Duke. So I must be doing something right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I love to officiate. I miss it. Still I still can call it like in myself. I mean, I watch these games and I ache a little bit, but hey, your time's up. You don't own it. And it's time to move on.
Right.
It is. A lot of people don't understand. I worked 78 games last year. I worked 78, for my age. And it's just, the game's been grateful to me. And I've taken more out of this game than what I've given to this game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, a legend to so many. And I'm talking about even before me. Like you said, 80, 86, I was only 5 at the time. I didn't know the game of basketball. I didn't really start becoming a Carolina fan until 93 with the Chris Webber situation.
Right.
So, never went there or anything like that. Just a diehard fan.
Right.
And, I've watched so many games over the years, not just Carolina, but, just in college basketball, because I am a college basketball. I don't even know what you want to call me or whatever, because I love college basketball more than I love any other sport. NBA, NFL, baseball, you name it. College basketball is me. Like, I'm in heaven when it's March. Like, This is the best time of the year. You know that the Christmas song or whatever, it's the most wonderful time of the year. That's me. That's me during this month. And just being able to see, just being a student, I guess you could say, of the game, watching the players, watching the officials, it's just remarkable. And it's incredible to see how especially now being in this podcasting space, I've had the opportunity to talk to so many, from the Phil Fords to the Danny Greens, to yourself, Adam Lucas and some of the guys, like, it has just been an incredible ride for me. But it's also good because of the fact that I'm still learning the game of basketball, just listening to all of the stories from everybody, and it's just a beautiful thing or whatever. And like I said, I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss for words because of the fact I've watched you on TV over so many years, over decades. And the fact that now I am in this space, being able to speak with you, like, it's like a dream come true to me.
Well,
like,
I appreciate it.
So, and that's the reason when I hit you up, it was like, wait a minute, is this the real Ted Valentine page? Like, yes. I'm like, because, you can get them fan pages out there and
of course,
you talking to somebody and they're trying to and what's the word?
Impersonate, probably.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
And so, you just never know. And of course, you got to be careful with things. But when you respond, it was like, yeah, it is. I'm like, okay, great. We in business. So, but again, it's been incredible just to see and hear so many different stories. With officials, from coaches to players to writers to, other podcasters. Like, everybody has a different story, but they're all incredible stories. All
right,
every single one of them. Not one story goes unnoticed. So, but I guess you sort of pretty much kind of answered my question that quite a few people wanted me to ask in regards to why you hate Carolina so much. I gotta ask it just because people are gonna feel like,
of course,
you beat around the bush. You didn't ask him the question and all of that. So, if you want to elaborate a little more on that, please do so that we can now put things to rest.
That's right.
And you could be in the good graces of UNC fans.
Well, one thing I like to share with you that a lot of people may not remember, in 1998, February, I was involved with the Bob Knight incident. Okay. And that year we were going to Hartford, Connecticut. And, for the NCAA tournament, Carolina was there. I was a standby, and I'll never forget this. And Phil Ford and I have spoken about this a few times. Coach Guthridge was the coach then. And I was a standby, and I was in the media for 13 days. 13 days. 13 days I was in the media. Just every day, every morning, every day, every morning. ESPN was beating it to death, Yeah. And I really wasn't bothered, but I really didn't worry about what people were saying about me at the time. As far as Coach Guthridge came down, I was a standby. I'll never forget this as long as I live. Every one of the Carolina coaching staff shook my hand and all the players. I was standby. They shook my hand because they realized that here's a guy that took on a giant. And it kind of made me shed some tears. I never realized how much I was liked and how much I was respected for standing up and doing the right thing. And when each one of them shook my hand, I wanted to cry. Yeah. That's the fond memory I have of North Carolina. Yeah. That is a very, very fond memory. And it's always been embedded in my heart. They took enough time before their game to shake my hand because I know that I was in the media almost every day. I was running for my life. Every time there was a reporter, every time I went around a turn and somebody wanted to ask me some questions, and I stayed in seclusion, just about. And that's what I had most fond of Carolina fans. I do, the coaching staff. And when I went there last year, I can see that I've developed some friendship with some of the people. Yeah. I can actually see it. I can actually see it. People come down and hug me before the game. I would talk to them. And it's just that they're a very classy organization. They're probably one of the best class organizations that I've ever been around. Is Carolina. I mean, bar none. But they love their basketball, and they'll let you know. They are very classy fans. I very seldom heard them boo me. Very rarely. And I got to take a double take. I go, well, let me look at the Jumbotron. Maybe I did miss it, okay? But Carolina fans, they love their basketball. And I have nothing but great admiration for Carolina fans.
Well, there we have it, folks. There we have it. You've heard it from directly straight from the horse's mouth right there. You've heard it right there. Ted Valentine loves UNC, he has nothing but admiration for the program. And I mean, so now we can all get off of the Ted Valentine. Right. Let's put it to rest. So, and I mean,
let me clear up one other thing too while we're here.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Ted.
Let me clear up one thing. Everybody knows that I was involved in this incident with Joe Barry. Okay. So we want to put that to rest too. Okay. Okay. So might as well just come on out.
Yeah.
For all your fans out there, you got to understand, I'm old school. I'm 67 years old. I'm an adult. I grew up when your coach told you that was enough. That's how I grew up. It's not how it is now with NIL and all that special stuff. Joe Barry is a good kid. It was a time mark was 3:41, and we were in a heck of a contest at Florida State. When I went back and looked at the film, and I want to tell all the Carolina fans, that foul happened in the backcourt, so don't blame me for it, okay? I was on the end line, and Joe Barry came down and started contesting what happened in the backcourt. I didn't know what Joe Barry was talking about. Didn't have a clue.
Right.
So he kept walking up on me. He kept walking up on me. He kept walking up on me. Well, I'm old school.
Yeah.
I'm old school. I mean, back in the day, I would have called a technical foul. But I felt at 3:41, the game was in balance, and I didn't want the technical foul to overshadow anything that was taking place in the game. Well, I turned my back on him just like I would turn my back on my 40-year-old daughter.
Right.
Turn my back and walk away. And people kind of like blew that up. They basically blew it up because they didn't see the in-house feed. When I saw the in-house feed, when he returned back from the bench from Coach Williams, he came over to me and we had a discussion about what took place. But you see, people on TV don't see that. They don't see that. Okay. Right. I patted him, he patted me. Okay. I don't have anything against Joe Barry because Joe Barry just played in the Final Four game the year before in 2017, and I was in that game.
Right.
During that time, I felt that why penalize this kid when I don't understand what he's talking about? Right. He and I had a great discussion about that situation. I give Coach Williams credit. He never said anything. Never said one word, never uttered one word. We basically talked about it. It was no big deal with Coach Williams. Yeah. Well, when I went back on January the 20th, I went up to him at the captain's meeting, and he and I, we embraced him, and I spoke to him again to let him know, I'm not against you. I'm just an old man. Right. I'm just an old man. When I want to hear it, I want to hear it. Right. Because most officials will call a technical foul, and I had that reputation of calling technical fouls. That wasn't the place. That wasn't at the time. Now that I've thought about the situation and I'm such old school, I probably would have done it again, basically. Right. Or else walk to the bench with him, let him talk. Right. And then at least getting back to his bench. But however, the Carolina fans didn't see him and I embracing right after that timeout. But I give Coach Williams the credit. He never said one word, never said anything. Yeah. The media jumped on it, and I would do it to my granddaughter who's 16 years old, turn my back on her. I still turn my back on her to today. Hey, when I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear, Right. But I wanted to clear that up, and it wasn't personal for Joe Barry. It wasn't personal. I'm old school ref, and I turn my back on people so I don't call technical fouls, And I understood where he was coming from, and I went, well, maybe this is the new generation, and it's just that I understand and I can see both sides of it. So I at least want to clear that up too.
I think speaking of when you say turn your back or whatever, I think a lot of people really and just being on this side of things and just watching the game. I know a couple years ago with UNC, they went into Georgia Tech undefeated, and you was officiating that game. This was a couple years ago, I think, with Ingram and Baycott, Cormac Ryan,
yes,
and RJ Davis.
Yes.
Last shot at the buzzer, misses it or whatever. And a lot of people, including myself, I'm not gonna lie, we all felt like RJ was fouled on that. And I think it rubbed a lot of the fans the wrong way because, again, like you said, you turned your back on him. The game was over. RJ was trying to explain it to you, and it was like, nope, I don't want to hear it. Turn your back on him. And I think that might have, at least to my knowledge, that's when I started seeing a lot more, I guess you could say, hate for you, from the fan base or whatever. Because after that, everybody is like, oh, TV Valentine's calling the game. I ain't even watching the game.
Right.
I already know how it's going to go. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you. But at the same time, if you're a true Tar Heel fan, you're going to watch this game, period. That's just what it is. So I think that's where, at least recently, to my knowledge, that a lot of that, I do remember that game that you're talking about. Of course, because I mean, a lot of people in this new generation, they may not have known that game or remember it or even saw it. But I think here recently, I think that's the memory that everybody has with you. Turning your back on RJ when we was undefeated at Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech gave us our first loss when RJ probably could have went to the line, hit his free throws, and we could have won the game. I
don't think so. But anyway, but people don't understand, and I understand it, and I get where they're coming from. I had Hubert Davis when he played, when Eric Montrose, and I had Shaquille O'Neal. I was schooled about the situation. I've seen the play several times. And I feel that if RJ would not have embellished the way he did, he may have got the whistle. Because the reason why I say that, because I've seen that play 10 times, where I'm standing from the slot position, RJ ended up past me. He felt the contact, and he embellished it. So I went, hey, and we looked at it, and I looked at NBA guys, and they told me that's a great no call. But I understand a college kid and a high school kid, they'd want you to call it because it's him, because he was the scorer. All right. And it just that people didn't understand. And I told Hubert that. I said, Hubert, you play college basketball. You play pro basketball. I know when players are embellishing. All right. And I've seen that play, and I've showed the NBA guys, and they thought it was a good no call because of the way he embellished the contact. The guy's 6'9", 6'10". He's trying to make contact to get a shot. I think if he takes it right to him, I could probably help him out. But when I see him bounce past me, and I'm looking, I'm going, well, that's a trick and fool play. Okay?
Right.
I mean, I understand what Carolina fans are talking about, but Carolina fans, they're rooting for their team, just like I root for the Pittsburgh Steelers in football, okay? And they think that I'm supposed to I guess lean over backwards, okay?
Yeah.
Because they feel that, well, if that was Duke and you'd give Duke the call, and right. Okay, ask Carlos Boozer, okay? So I mean, but I understand that you're going to have the scales are going to bounce back and forth, and I get that. I really get that. I understand it, but it's not anything personal. It's not anything that I'm going to flip a coin about and say, well, maybe I wouldn't, and maybe I would, and maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would, but let's talk about the calls I used to give him too. Okay, I know he was the best shooter, and Baycock was one of my favorite guys. And Baycock used to say, "You're the only guy that understands his game." Baycock was, and so. But I understand how Carolina fans are. It'd be the same way if I had a favorite team. I don't have any favorite teams, not in basketball. I have none. I don't have no dogs named Hunts, But I understand. And I've seen that play 100 times, and I've looked at it with the NBA guys, and they went, "That's a great no call." That's the way they look at it. Now, some college refs, well, I call this, and I call that. You don't know what you would have called. You'd had a heart like a BB gun. You don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. But I understand. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. So listen, it is what it is. I mean, that's it happened. There's no going back and changing it. I mean, there's nothing we could do about it. It's kind of like what I tell UNC fans at this point in time where we are right now. Going through so many different things that we had all of these accolades that we had this season. We beat Duke, Kansas, and Kentucky in the same year. That hasn't happened since 82, 85 or something like that. 18-0 at home this year, a winning record. We beat Duke. It's so many of the positive things. We made the tournament, even though we got bounced in the first round. But the only thing that Tar Heel fans are going to remember, their last memory, is the 30-6 run at Duke, the loss to Clemson in the ACC tournament, and the loss to VCU in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Those are the memories that are right now left in Carolina's fans' memory. That's just what it is. So,
I understand that. However, and I have to speak up, and maybe because I like the person a lot. I have to stand up for Hubert some. And I understand how fans are. It's basically is, what have you done for me lately?
Right.
That's how it is. I mean, around America, people will forget about that record. People will absorb the losses because they're embedded in them. However, I hope and pray that Hubert is not let go. That's how I feel. And the reason why I have to say that, look at the ACC now.
Mm-hmm.
We done lost Coach Grant. We done lost Damon. We almost lost the Pittsburgh coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're going to put Hubert in there. What will that do for the league? I mean, that's how I'm looking at it as a person of color. Okay. Like they're not bad guys. They're not bad. All right. Now, I understand the situations that they had to do elsewhere. But in this situation, he's a winning person. I mean, I feel that he got to the Final Four too quick. Okay. And that's what everybody's trying to remember. Okay. Everybody's a one-hit wonder. Ohio players used to have a song called Fire. And they played to death. Okay. And I feel that they need to give him a chance still. Okay. Yeah. I understand we've had Dean Smith and we've had Coach Guthridge and we've had Coach Williams. But if they just give him a chance, I mean, let's look at it this way. Look at the NIL.
That's where I was going there next, actually.
Okay?
I was going to ask
look at the NIL, name, image, and likeness. I mean, look at it. There's a school 5 miles down the road. They're okay.
Right.
Okay, basically. Okay. Now the thing is, maybe nobody wants to give any money, or to get the top players there or to get the top athletes. And I don't have any answer for that. It's just unfortunate because I don't like to see good people be thrown under the bus. Okay. Right. And maybe I feel special because I had him when he played. Okay. When he was on the Carolina team in 92, with Eric Montrose and 93 with Eric Montrose in that gang. I mean, when I see Carolina players that coaching elsewhere, I have a deep feeling, a deep emotion for them because they've been so classy. They've been so classy, and they've just gone through so much. And I just hope Carolina fans or the administration would just give Hubert a chance. Give him a chance. Just give him another chance. That's all. And you might be surprised because anybody else that you bring in there may be worse.
Might fall flat on their face.
Might fall flat. Okay.
That is good point. Good point. Like I'm right there with you. Me, Rayshawn, and Newbie, we just had a big episode a couple days ago, and we kind of discussed, these things and stuff like that or whatever. It's a touchy subject.
It is
a lot of people are, on the other side. It's like, yo, he's got to go. Right. So many people are like that. And I've been a huge advocate to like you said, give him a chance.
Right.
And, I think I'm sharing the same mindset as you. Because of the fact, like you said, Earl Grant is gone now.
Right.
Damon is gone. Red Autry is gone.
Right.
We lost we almost lost Capel.
Right.
And now, like you said, you bringing in, you got HD on the chop block, things like that. Like it's tough because you want to root for that.
Right.
Yeah. But at the same time, I root for Luke Locke. I root for, I'm not a big fan of Will Wade, but I'm a root for him. Because it's ACC. I'm not a fan of Shire, but I'm a root for him because it's ACC.
Right.
Like, same thing with Forbes, Brunel, like all of them. But however, at the same time, I mean, you got with the ACC growing as big as it is, I'm one of those like, yo, let's be fair. I've always
Right.
been that. Let's be
Right.
fair in life.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, I don't know if he's been really given like a fair shot, if that
Right.
makes sense. I mean, you know, you got to give him time. You know, I'm not a political guy at all. But you know, I know that that you know, if you got a president that's been a president for 8 years, and then here comes a new president or whatever, he ain't changing everything in 4 years.
No.
Like, that's just common sense. You ain't got to be political to realize that. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, but I mean, I'm on the same page as you are. You know, give him a chance. And let's see what he can do. But again, you know, when you got the ones that are pushing and giving out the money, they can dictate. They dictate a lot. So
right. I mean, I know money rules or whatever it is. You know what my greatest fear is? You bring somebody in there and they could flop. I'm seriously. I mean, that's happened to you like one time years ago, and I won't mention who the person was. I mean, just, you know, it kind of flopped. It did. Yeah. You know, and you don't want to see that happening because not all that's gold will glitter at times. I mean, you're going to get some of that, and everything's pot luck. It is. It's basically pot luck. I mean, it's like you got a fan base there that you have to. That's a little bit different. It's been in the Carolina family for so long, since Coach Smith, you know, and it's always, you know, been in the Carolina family. However, but do you plan on going outside the Carolina family?
That's a good point.
And that's something else that's not following Carolina tradition. One thing I do like about Georgetown, and then I'll get back to you, is that they tried to stay with the John Thompson tradition to this day, because something that John Thompson established. Because I was like John Thompson's son. A lot of people don't know that, and they tried to stay within that realm, and at least they stayed that way, you know. Right. So I don't know what Carolina's going to do. I just hope they stay within the family, you know. Right. That's what I hope.
Yeah, keep it traditional. Keep it traditional. I would love for it to stay traditional. The only problem is there's not many more options after
no.
It's not a lot of options. So I mean, we just gotta. I guess we'll wait and see what's going on. So you know, we'll wait and see what happens and everything. So I do want to ask you this though, Ted. I mean, because I mean, you've been in this space for quite some time, and you know, you kind of mentioned it just a little bit not too long ago, but I want to get your thoughts on the NIL now stage coming into college basketball, and do you think that, I mean, that it's good for college basketball, but at the same time, what are the downfalls that it could also bring to, you know, to college basketball and everything, and what kind of effect could it have on the game?
Well, they definitely have to have a cap. That's a must, okay? Because it shouldn't be like one player is making $5 million, one making $3 million. I mean, one's making more than that. We've gotten away from one of the first starting things people talk about is money. That's one of the first things that they're bringing up now, money. I believe players should be paid. I believe that. I've always said this, and I'm going to say it like I'm going to say it. I feel that the NCAA has made money off the backs of players. That's how I feel.
Right.
That's the way I feel, because I've been around. I'm so old school that I've seen it grow. The players should make some money, because there's been situations that they've been punished. They can't fly home. They can't go see their family. They just, like to a certain point that universities couldn't do anything for the player to go home. They couldn't do anything for him. You know, Chris Webber and them used to say it most. It says, if I was taking somebody out, I couldn't feed, you know, I can't feed myself. Okay. Right. So I believe that they should make some money. I believe they should be paid. However, I don't think they should be able to move around as much.
Right.
That's the problem, and that's the imbalance, because when I was officiating the game and you look at a player and go, man, I know him from somewhere. Okay. Yeah. I know him from somewhere. And I just think that if they could just stabilize it, if a player would go to school he has to stay there 2 years. He has to stay 2 years. Like the transfer portal is opening up after the Final Four.
Yep.
Okay. Then you got players going to shuffle, players going to leave. And they're leaving because over here, I'm able to get this. Over there, I'm able to get that. And I understand about America that we're supposed to, only in America, that Don King used to say that you should be able to be an enterprise type person, that you should, be able to make for what you're worth. However, I think we've gone overboard. We've gone crazy. We've gone silly. And I don't think that the Congress, like they say, is going to get involved. I think that's just a bunch of hoopla. Okay, I don't think they're going to get involved. I don't think they will. I mean, it's just that I think that the universities have to come together, the presidents of the school have to come together, and have to make a decision. This is better for everybody. Right now it's not. I mean, you're walking into a mid-major, and I think the least they're asking is 100, 125. That's the first thing. It's not going to be like how it used to be. Well, am I going to play?
Right.
So, I mean, we just got too many people, and it's just that players' heads are blown up because they got these agents. They got their families telling them what to do, and it's just that we need a cap put on this. I mean, I think we're out of control. I think, like anybody that's the level of Carolina and Duke, you get this much money.
Yeah.
Okay? You go into mid-major, you get that much money. Right? Simple as that. I mean, you got JUCO kids now are coming into this NIL. Right? What about recruiting the top high school players?
Right.
Okay? What about the top high school players? You're basically setting them aside. Okay? Now you got players that are 23, 24 years old that have been in the G League. Now they're coming back. Okay? So we got all kinds of stuff going on. It's just that I don't know how they're going to do it, how they're going to put a cap on it, but I wouldn't want to be sitting in a room because I know somebody is going to be upset. Somebody going to be upset, And it's just I never thought that I'd see this to this day, because when I got a scholarship to go to school, you went and you stayed 4 years.
Yep.
Now you're getting some money and you don't like something about the school, you leave.
Yep.
Okay. And what about your education?
Right.
Okay. All right. So you're going to forego your education. Hey, I'm going to play basketball. Okay.
Yep.
And you don't care. You really don't care.
Yeah. I think I totally agree with you. I think it needs to be regulated somehow, some way.
Right.
One of the big issues is these kids, I'll throw a player out there because I think he did bounce around to 4 different schools. And that was AJ Storr.
Right.
He went from, if I know he was at Kansas, and then he went to, I can't remember the schools or anything like that, but I know he bounced around with 4 different schools.
Right.
And, my thing is nowadays or whatever, I know back in the days with speaking of Carolina players, like, the Rasheed Wallaces and Jerry Stackhouses and Carters and Jamesons and everybody, they had to face adversity.
Right.
And these kids nowadays, they don't want to face adversity. It's like, I ain't getting no playing time. Instead of earning it,
right,
like you had to back in the day, like it's like, okay, you bought me in, you paying me $1 million, then I should be getting some playing time. Like they feel like they're obligated to get playing time, and it don't work like that.
Right.
And again, soon as they feel and get in their feelings and feel some type of way, then it's like, oh, well, you know what? This ain't for me. I'm going somewhere else. But thanks for the $1 million.
Right.
I mean, I think the NCAA dropped the ball a long time ago.
Yes.
And again, I do think that the players should get paid. I want to make sure that I put that out there because I think it's a great thing. I think it does help the sport. However, at the same time, it has to be a cap somewhere.
Right.
Because Jay Williams made a great point to where he said, like, listen, with the NIL really taking place and the transfer portal like taking place like it is, there won't be no more Cinderella teams like that.
Nope, there won't be no more. Nope.
I mean,
they won't be.
I think this is I think last year or this year with the tournament right now, I think that are one of the last years that we may see a Cinderella team.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
And
I totally agree.
Nowadays, I mean, you look at Kentucky, who just got beat. I mean, but $22 million spent on that roster.
Right.
And they couldn't even get to the Sweet 16.
Right. Right. That's true.
That says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be interesting where basketball is going to be. College basketball is going to be in 5 years from now.
Yeah.
I hope I'm alive to see it. Okay.
Right.
Just 5 years from now, I want to see, because I never pictured a transfer portal. I never pictured that, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, where are we going with this? Where we going?
It's like NBA free agency.
Right. Where are we going? I mean, where are we going where we're not players? If you were in the G League and I'm not hardly making any money, well, I go to college basketball.
Right.
And I can earn a living, and I don't want to take anybody's earning power away from them. I mean, I believe we all deserve to make a living. I mean, we do somehow, some way. I mean, I'm one of the few refs that had an NIL deal, very, very small, but I was, that's very small, and it's just been, and I imagine what the players deserve. Now, what are we trying to say that you deserve? Now we got somebody else that's measuring, like it's like an evaluation, like you teach in school. Well, you earn this. Well, no, you're not getting that. So what are we in? What are we in? So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I
got you. So I got two more questions for you. That's
fine. That's fine. I'm at home. You gotta get in your car and go. You gotta get in your car and go home, probably.
No, I'm home. I'm
okay,
home. Yeah, this is home and home. So, all right. So my two questions is, if you and of course I don't want to like discredit nobody, because I know that you have many relationships with many officials out there.
Right.
But if you had to pick like a top 5 officials right now that are officiating right now, like who would they be? And then part 2 to that is, how do you get judged, or how do you get picked to officiate Final Four and championship games? Well,
let me ask this question. Answer this question. Answer your second question first.
Okay.
It's different than when I went back in the 90s. It's a lot different. It's more of a politicized process. It's more political now. It basically is. Okay, and that's what you're getting into. You're getting into
sports politics.
You're getting into the NCAA coordinators. You're getting into the rules committee, which I'm shocked because none of them played no basketball. So I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, they all want to sit there, and they want to sit there and fly first class, and they want to sit at the table and look like they're important, and they're sitting in the locker room, and they're making a decision on whether I don't like this guy, I don't like that guy, and they throw their feelings into it too much.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've heard things about me. Well, that guy ain't moving on. Okay, but
right.
I've never done anything to him. Okay?
Sports politics. Yeah, right. Sports politics. Yeah.
So we're in that that political realm about it, and it's bad for the game. I don't feel they're trying to do now. They want to try to get a pool of 30-some officials that can work the Final Four. I don't think there's 30 guys out there. Not this day and age. Back when I worked, there was plenty of people. Jim Bird, Tim Higgins, Pete Pavia. There were tons of officials. Lenny Wirtz. Okay. The top 5 that I would talk about now, they're great referees, and maybe I'm biased because I help teach them, is Roger Ayers.
Yep.
He's one. I had him as a puppy. Ron Groover.
Yep.
Okay. I had him as a puppy. James Breeding is another guy. Courtney Green, which is out of Pinkerton, Ohio. Pretty good up and coming, pretty good official. Let's see. I can probably get to one more, maybe. I can probably get one more, and I'd probably say Doug Shouse, probably. I mean,
Okay.
Those are guys that I'm familiar with, and those are guys that'll knuckle down, because I believe in that. You get in some of these games, you got to be able to knuckle down.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to knuckle down. You can't get in these games coming up next week, and you got heart like a BB gun, and I may have left one guy out, and that'd be Doug Sermons. I'd say Doug Sermons would be, because I taught him. See, I'm very special because those guys, I see my guys do well, and they know, and they've had great training, around them. There's some good up and coming guys. However, they haven't been thrown in the fire.
Right.
If you put them in the fire, are they going to melt?
Right.
Are they going to have a meltdown? And I'm very critical. Because I'm very hard on myself. And people don't understand, when I used to watch film, I used to get mad at myself. I get mad at myself, and I believe there's less teaching. There's less teaching because it's like nobody knows how to teach.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is, I had Hank Nichols, he used to be an ACC referee, and Joe Forte, and we're going to have to see what kind of officiating that we have in about 5 years.
That's good.
About 5 years, because as these guys that I just named get older, who's coming behind them?
Right.
I need to find out. I mean, who is the next breakout referee?
Right.
Okay. And another thing too is this generation, they haven't been tested.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have Coach Smith on the sideline. They don't have Bob Knight on the sideline. They don't have Gene Cady on the sideline. They don't have Bob Huggins on the sideline. Okay. Right. They don't have these guys. I think college basketball now is washed down, basically. And I think that's got to do with the NIL, and I think it's got to be with their code and their, not embarrassing the school, and it just, I like to see what they can do under fire. Okay, yeah. Anybody can referee and keep your hair in place when everything's going good, but I like to see you get down when it's time to get down. Okay,
yeah.
There's Mike Krzyzewski, he gone. Okay, there's Jimmy Valvano, gone. Okay. Yeah. I gotta see you when you knuckle down. I mean, you gotta be able to knuckle down to be with me. You gotta be able to knuckle down. Yeah. I mean,
I listen. Yeah, listen. I'm right there with you. I like Roger Ayers. I like Ron Kruger. I mean, I guess because I see them the most, because they're always officiating ACC games.
Right.
And I do know because I have a close friend of mine that's out of Indiana. He's also an official for the Indiana Fever games and, stuff like that up that way. And, his thing was, refs get assigned to conferences or, whatever the case may be. And that's what they work throughout the season. They don't bounce around hey, you're going to see Roger Ayers doing a Carolina Duke game, but then 2 nights from now, you'll see him out west. With a UCLA Arizona game, something. You're not gonna see that because they try to keep them in the conference.
Right.
So I've always wondered that in regards, and I do think that those are probably the last 2 that I can think of in regards to OGs again, legends.
With
the 2 of them. So, and again, look at the tutelage that they came up under. It says a lot.
Well, I mean, see, I grew up in the old Big Ten with Knight, Cady, Clem Haskins. I had some juggernauts, man. And the next night you go to the Big East, you had Massimino, you had John Thompson, you had Jim Boeheim, you had Jimmy Calhoun. Then you slide down to the SEC. And then you would have Merry Christmas. I can't think of the game.
Nolan Richardson.
You'd have Nolan Richardson. See, that's what they're missing because they never went night after night after night after night after night. There'd be a grind. There'd be a grind. They never dealt with Gary Williams. Be a grind. They never dealt with Mike Krzyzewski. Okay, they never dealt with Dean Smith. Okay, they never dealt with these guys with Lefty Driesell. Okay, right. So I mean, you know, I have to say that it's watered down. I have to say that because I worked enough games and I see something and I fold my arms. I'm going, man, he ain't saying nothing about that. Okay, no, seriously. I'm going, man, he ain't saying nothing about that play. And that's how. I mean,
like, what are we doing here?
I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm going, man, he ain't saying nothing.
Right.
He ain't saying nothing. He
right.
said, well, get back down the floor. Okay,
yeah.
I'm going. Boy, them juggernauts I am, man, they'd be ready to undress. They'd be undressing you before you got to the scores table.
For sure.
They would be after you. Okay.
Listen, you gonna have to watch out because you never know. You might see a stool or a chair coming across the floor or whatever from Bobby Knight.
Hey man, I've seen John Thompson chase around official at Syracuse one time, chasing around the court, and I was in the game. It wasn't me. You know, I go, oh man, okay. So you don't know, man. I mean, this is, you know, society has changed a little bit, and I don't know how tough they are inside, because I had to knuckle down. I'd be in the ACC one night. Okay, they're pretty good guys, but I knew when I was going to Big Ten, I had Knight and I had Katie, and I'd go to the Big East and John Thompson and Providence playing, and they didn't like each other. All Catholic League, and they was after each other. Jimmy O'Brien used to come. Man, we'd have fire every night. They'd be fire every night, and there wasn't no nights off either. You know, there wasn't no nights off. They didn't care nothing about you refereeing the day before. Yeah, they didn't care. You know, I mean, but these guys got it made now. These guys got it made. Okay, they may be flying back and forth. I got so-and-so coach. Oh, he's a nice guy. So-and-so coach. He's a nice guy. Shoot. Hey, every time I work, asshole. Okay, and see, I got that rep. Well, I got to stand up, or else they're gonna run you out the game. You know, they're gonna run you out. You know, they're gonna chase you out the game, man.
And that's where the hate him or love him comes from.
Right. Hey, people hate me, so people like me. You know.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I listen. I'm right there with you or whatever. I guess my final question on the referee side, and then I got one last question for you. But my final question on the referee side is because I've had talks with a lot of people about this, and don't know if they're going to include it in college basketball. But after games, do you think that officials should be able to take the podium to explain a play or two or something like that if it's a close game?
I know one thing, I would. Okay, and I think, and that's a good question, and I've always said that, if you're involved in something that's a little bit controversy, whatever, what they tend to do now is they want to sequester the official. They want to sequester him. Well, you get one side of the coach, okay? Well, the referee, we haven't heard anything from him, okay? Well, I've always been one of the guys, I speak. If somebody asks me, I'm going to speak. That's the way I grew up. That's how I am. I was the first guy that they put a mic in front of the face, and I can explain the whole thing, okay? I know that I wasn't supposed to, but I kept on doing it. I said, wait a minute, I got to get my side out here, okay?
Yeah.
Let me get my side on what I viewed, okay? And I think the official should have to go in and explain the situation instead of sending a pool reporter to the locker room. Because I think it's a cop-out. I think it's a cop-out that you're trying to sit there and you're trying to get together as a group and you're trying to formulate your answer. The person that's involved should, whether they put him in the locker room, whatever, with a mic or whatever it is, and he can talk to the press. You know, I think they should, because what they do is they try to sequester, you know, be quiet, and you're supposed to carry all this inside you. And no, my mom always told me, let it out, you know, let it out,
Yep.
you know. And I think you have to get the side of the official. See, if I ever was going to a press conference and they said something to me that was controversial, real bad, whatever it is, I could come right out and say, hey, you can write this. I missed it. Let's move on. Hey, I missed it. I'm sorry. And move on.
Yeah.
Okay? Move on. Don't leave people speculating about what happened, because people can spin it and whatever it is. I'd rather from the right, well, TV Valentine said he was sorry. He missed the play. Conversation's over. It's over.
Right. Because, see, now they want to find the coaches if they even mention anything about the referees. They want to find them. Like, how? Why?
Which is wrong. Because you know why?
I agree.
Because they have a contract. They're trying to earn their living. They are. Coach trying to earn their living. I haven't worked a job since 1986. I've refereed full-time my whole career. Haven't worked a full-time job. I was a school teacher and went into officiating, and I haven't worked a full-time job. Officiating was my job.
Yeah.
Officiating was my avocation. If I wasn't good enough, I got to go find something else.
Right.
I got to go find something else. I feel now that every official should put his money making on the line, because most of them are going back to their jobs. They got their own business. How much time are they going to put into it? Like, see, I was a full-time ref. I was full-time. I was watching film all through the summer, training all through the summer, just like the teams were. I might take off like 1 week, but I'm trying to get ready for next year, you know. And it's just, that was my livelihood.
Right.
And I put my livelihood on the line for 40-some years. I put it on the line. You know, I didn't have a job to run back to. I could go to the next city, you know.
Right.
And I studied a lot of film. You know, what the coaches do is you watch them. They are living with it. They're watching film for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. They're coming up with a game plan, hours and hours and hours. It's not fair for the official. He can just referee. Okay, I'm done here. Okay, I'll go over here and just ref. And he keeps moving. Okay, while the team has to live with it. Okay, like if they're playing on Tuesday, they're not playing until Thursday, whatever it is. They're trying to get ready for Thursday. But what if they lost a close game on Tuesday on a tough play? They're carrying that into Thursday. Right. You know, the official's able to move on, and something has to be done. And I think that, and I feel there should be game limits. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is you shouldn't be able to work 90 to 100 games anymore. You shouldn't. True. You shouldn't be. Hey, I was guilty of it when I was young, but I was 30-some years old, you know. And now with the social media, I don't want everybody to know that I'm over here one night, over here one night, over here one night. Now all the games are on TV. How much time are you putting in for preparation for that game? How much time are you putting in? When you're able to leave, you're able to go to the next game. You keep on moving. That's right. You know, the team has to carry it because the coach has to motivate his kids after losing a tough game. Well, how do you get them up for the next game? Right. You know, so, you know, it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. And I have friends who are coaches, and they tell me, damn officials, they just move on from game to game, you know. And I hear it all the time, you know. Yeah. And they're expressing themselves, you know. And I think there should be even a cap on the officials. 3 games a week. 3 games a week. Because I've always wondered, if you're working 5 games a week, how much rest are you getting?
It's a really good point.
Especially when you're getting up at 6 o'clock. Especially when you're getting up at 3 o'clock. I live in Charleston, South Carolina, and I got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to take the first thing smoking because with the way the airlines are now and with the way the weather is now you're flying somewhere, and some games that you referee, you're flying into the city and driving 2 hours. Yep. How rested are you? Right. I know you're tired in February. Because, hey, in February, I'm tired. Right. I'm tired. Right. I'm tired in February. All right. So, how rested is the official? How rested? Okay.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. I mean, just look at that. You know, look how many games. If it's Carolina, they're probably playing what? 3 games a week, maybe, if they're lucky.
Yeah, for the most part, it's now it's they kind of trimmed it down. It's about 2 games a week, because they may play on a Monday, they may play on a Tuesday, but then they may not play again until that Saturday. So about 2 games a week.
Yeah. So I think everybody has to be cut some. I mean, because I know that I got tired in February.
Right.
I got tired. Okay. I get tired. I get irritable. The teams are tired of seeing you. Okay. I mean, if you had Jim Boeheim, I had him like 9 times one season. Okay. 9 times. I did 9 times. I know, hey, I got along with him good, but after a while, you go, man, I'm tired looking at Teddy.
Right. Like, y'all ain't got nobody else. I mean,
nobody else. Hey, about the 5th time, man, I got you again. I heard you requested me. I'm here, okay? But think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. Okay? But we have to go with what we see.
That's it. So, all right, my last question is, I guess, give the fans and everybody an update on what Ted Valentine has going on in his life now that he is in retirement mode.
Well, one thing is, I live in one of the best, or I say beautiful cities around. I live in Charleston, South Carolina. That's
beautiful city. Really beautiful city.
I don't have to worry about going on no vacation because I've moved vacation land here. I'm currently with a well-renowned ghostwriter writing a book. I'm writing a book about my life, and the way it is, it's called Calling the Shots, the lessons of a renegade referee. That's the name of the book.
I need a copy of that, Teddy.
I'll give it to you. I'll give you a copy.
Man.
So I'm in the process of writing that, and that'll be out next year. I'm doing some podcasts, and I'm out doing some speaking. I work for North Charleston City Parks and Rec. I have an administrative position. So I'm more busy now than ever. I mean, it is just something that I need to do because most officials, they'll referee and they'll quit. And I decided that I'm going to reinvent myself, because when you blew the whistle for 43 years, you get accustomed to that. And this is probably the first time in 5 months that I never pulled a bag to go referee. It's the first time in 43 years. And I didn't know how to act at first. I really didn't know how to act because it's like, shouldn't I be going somewhere? Should I be catching a flight? Should I be doing this? And now that we've gotten to March, I'm glad I'm not out there anymore. I'm just glad I'm not out there. I'm glad I'm not out there. The withdrawal pains that I'm not refereeing because you have to go through something because you're so used to something and now you're not part of something. You have to find something to occupy your mind and your time, with something else, and it's just that those are things that I plan on doing. And there's the things I have, already in motion. And I've been doing something since January 2026. And every day I got something to do. Either podcast, speaking somewhere, Zoom calls.
Really good podcast, by the way. Really good podcast.
Well, I really haven't got into it yet. I have
from what I've seen. Yeah, from what I've seen.
But we're gonna have some good things. We're gonna throw some stuff in there. Like I've done some stuff about the selection committee. We're going to get into camps. We're going to get into choosing more black officials because I'm on that crusade. I'm just on that crusade, man. I'm just on that crusade about there's only 8% of black officials around basketball that are working college basketball. That's 80%, 8%, only 8%. I don't think there's enough representation. I like to see more coaches of color involved, with coaching the game. There is the Big Ten. They have no minority coaches, 0. They don't. Basically, they don't. Okay, because I do my homework before I even say anything. And I just like to see something change. And I hope my podcast will bring things to people's mind that I just want to see change. I just want to see just a little bit, I'm not asking to give me the house, but just a little bit, because we have over 70% are minorities are playing basketball, and it's just that I want to see the balance, like the NBA it does. The NBA has balance. They have balance. I mean, you ever see their games and see who's refereeing the game? They have some balance in their game, and I think that we've really gotten off base of where we are. I like to see us have a black coordinator, because we haven't had one since 2005. Okay, yeah. So I like to see that too. I like to see it, change. It's like being in the White House. Have multicultural, different type people. And just that we need that. I mean, we need that balance. And I'm just, and I'm sorry that I'm going on, but I was born April 6th. Yeah, I was born April 6th, 1958. Okay, I was 2 days before my 10th birthday. Martin Luther King was assassinated. And I remember that. And I remember my mom falling to the floor and crying as a young kid. I remember that. Okay. I remember living in West Virginia, and my mom, I'd want to go use the restroom, and my mama said, "Look at that sign. You can't go to the bathroom." Right. And just that's embedded in me. I mean, that's just right. Embedded. I just want to see a little bit of growth. I mean, I'm not asking to give us everything. I mean, just some diversification, some equality, some inclusion. Just give us just
give us something.
Yeah, give us something, okay? I'm not asking you to give me no money. Yeah. I'm not asking you to pay me. I'm not asking you to pay me for what happened years ago. All right, but give us a chance to have equal opportunity. That's all I'm asking, and that's what my broadcast is going to be about later on. And because I want to see some change. I want to see some change. And years ago, I was asked by the NCAA, and I was working all those Final Fours. They asked me to be on the committee, and the committee was supposed to be to find the black official. That's what it's supposed to be. Well, the guy called me because I was up and coming, and I answered him on the phone just like this. Mm-hmm. I said, basically, you're putting this committee together, and I'm not coming here to have lunch. I was like in my 30s. I'm not coming here to have lunch. I'm not coming here to hobnob. I'm coming to see some change. Yeah. Okay. Don't give me a title and we don't see any change. Okay. I don't want to be part of that. I want to see that we're doing something to make some changes, and there's some people that I'm going to be talking with trying to make some change. I'm going to have people write some letters, I just want to see just a little bit of change. That's all. Just see a little bit of change. That's it.
Listen, I will say this: whatever you got going on, you can count me in.
Right.
You are now certified unk to me. You are unk to me.
That's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I mean, listen, you got my number, of course. I got your number.
Right.
If you need anything, I mean, don't hesitate to reach out. Of course, you are always welcomed here. All you gotta do is just hit me up like, Zell, listen,
the
book's about to drop or something. Let me come on. I would love to come on, and you already know it's
right.
A done deal. It's a
well,
done
I didn't take you to dinner first and take you to lunch, but
hey, that's cool.
Now I can tell Carolina fans this. Okay, I can tell them this. I need to buy a Carolina hat and put it on my head next time I'm on.
Listen, you know what? I'm gonna do you something better. I'm not only am I gonna buy you a Carolina hat, but I'm gonna also send you some 94 feet of UNC merch as well.
Okay, that's all right. That's okay. I can wear it on my podcast. Yeah.
There we go. See, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Not a problem at all. Like I said, you are always welcomed here. This is a home away from home for you.
Right.
You got a big supporter right here. And again, like I said, anything that you need or whatever, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate. I'm gonna be upset with you if you hesitate to reach out to me now.
Oh, hey, I got it right here. I got it right on my phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now. Like, listen, like I thought I told you, don't hesitate to reach out to me.
I won't.
Okay.
Hey, my wife I have a separate email.
Okay.
And my wife, everybody's always getting a hold of her. Okay. And she reads all the emails, and I get tons of them every day. I get about 10 or 12. And when she got yours, I said, I think he has a podcast. I think he does, because I've heard somebody talk about it. And I said, respond, okay? Because I get most everybody who's always sending me emails, and I understand where they're coming from, that they want me to come watch them referee. Well, right. I'm not in that business anymore, okay? I mean, if you got any questions, whatever it is, fine, okay? They want me to come watch them referee. So my wife says, well, what do you think about opening referee school? I said, hey, open no damn referee school. Okay. I used to have a school. So I said, I'll open up a classroom. I'll have a classroom, but I'm not getting in. I said, because everybody wants my critique.
Right.
I don't know what it is. I'm not a world beater. You're in another system. I grew up a different way. And right. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, that when they have you doing something over here. Right. Okay? Because I don't want to jeopardize nobody. Okay? Because somebody can say that, oh, I want you to do this, I want you to do this. Well, I'll look at you like, well, where have you refereed? Right. And I'm going to go off and I'm going to do what I know. All right? Yeah. This generation coming up now, somebody's telling you what to do, and I don't want to get involved in that. I really don't want to get involved in that, because I've sent in, mixed feelings about stuff, and you're giving, they have to answer to somebody. Okay. Right. They're answering to somebody, and I'd rather not even be in that business, because right. Telling you what I think is different what somebody else is telling you, how to think. So for all you that's listening, please, if you have a question about officiating, fine, but I'm not coming to watch you work. I'm not coming to watch you. That's it. I ain't coming.
There you have it. There you have it. Don't ask. Don't do none of that, because he ain't coming.
I'm not coming to watch you. I'm not coming. No.
Yeah, he ain't coming. So listen, I know, because we working on some other things, and we'll talk behind the scenes or whatever. Okay. But me and Ray Terry and Newbie. And,
really? Are you guys working on something?
Yeah, we all they're a part of the show now.
Are they? Okay.
Like we have our episodes and all of that and stuff. We just had a big one a couple days ago or whatever, but they're now, a part of the show and everything. But we got some other things behind the scenes with some other UNC alumni players and stuff that we're gonna that we're working on and putting together. And I think it would be like super dope, because we gonna have like some special guests come through, and would absolutely love for you to be a part of
that. I tell you, hey, there's not enough of us out there, and we should. I mean, we should. Yeah. Because I know that you got some different stuff. But how I'm dealing with stuff is I'm dealing with stuff of diversity, just about. That's where I'm gearing myself to, because now I can be the voice behind it, because I've lived it. Okay. Right. And I've lived it, and I know what's out there, and I've been in these locker rooms, and I've been in these meetings, and I've been, and I want to bring some stuff to people that people don't know. Like what's behind the scenes, like what's going to happen with the Sweet 16, how many referees they're going to take, what they're going to take here, and
right.
And all I'm doing is watch games. That's all I've been doing,
Yeah.
And then I've been trying to teach the public what's going on too, because the public don't know, because they see their team and they don't understand. The process. That guy's done. So So what you're doing for the Carolina thing, you're doing some great things too. So I think we're all in this together. This is how we got to be. We have to be
absolutely
in this all together.
Absolutely. Like, so, so we might have to, we got to talk TV. We got to talk, because I'm a creator. I'm a
Right.
creator. My brain gets to turning. So, you know, just listening to you talk, my brain is up here like it's like a pot right now. I'm just stirring some stuff up or whatever. So yeah, we
Hey,
we
I plan on being around a while. You can see this, right?
Ooh, I like it.
I got me some TV Teddy podcast hats. I got my wife making them up, and I got his shirts. And when I get it out, you'll be one of the first, okay? Because we just got this. I mean, my wife is using it as samples right now, but I mean, we're here to stay, okay? We're here to stay, and I have a very good person that is helping me with me. You know, my wife is, and it's like she knows the marketing, she knows whatever, and she says, "Why don't you get some TV Teddy hats, TV Teddy podcast?" You know, just so we're here to stay. You know, we're here to stay as long as we can. You know, so
all right.
We'll get you some stuff soon. We get it all together. You know, so hey, we're networking. We're networking.
There we go. There we go. Like
right.
I tell you, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So tell everybody where they can find you, TV, and you know, and everything. And we're gonna go ahead and close things up.
Well, you can find me on the YouTube channel. You can see me on Instagram. You can see me on Facebook, and you can see me on TikTok. And my email address is tv-teddy.com. You know, so you send me any email that you want. Hey, we take on all kinds, so it doesn't matter. And we're looking for subject matter, something that's different at times. And I have a very, very good group. So, and we'll call on Mr. Graham now and then. So, hey, we wish you all the best. We do.
There we go. There we go. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Ted TV Valentine. We appreciate everybody for joining in with us. I tell you what, hold on. I ain't even gonna play no outro music. I appreciate everybody. Me and TV, we definitely appreciate everybody for joining. Y'all already know it's a great day to be a Tar Heel. Always a great day. Go Heels. Make sure that you like, comments, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. And make sure you follow Teddy and tap in with him. Just don't ask him to come and watch no games or anything like that. Don't ask him because he ain't doing it. But other than that, make sure you tap in. All of his information is going to be in the description below. And as you all know, man, it's Go Heels. Go Heels.